And we're glad to have with us on the phone this morning Karen Sistek of the American Red Cross, who's going to be talking with us about some upcoming blood drives and, of course, how things are going with the American Red Cross concerning the coronavirus crisis and some ways that they're actually beginning to help out as well. Karen, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Josh. I'm well. How are you?
Doing fine. You're staying safe then?
I am taking all the necessary precautions and making sure that we keep all our donors and our staff and our volunteer staff as well.
That's
keeping everybody safe.
Yeah, keeping them safe. I imagine that things have changed radically because for the blood drives going on in Indiana County and the surrounding areas because of the COVID-19 crisis. Maybe you can talk about some of the things that people can see that might have changed since they last donated blood.
Absolutely. March was a tough month, but I will say Indiana pulled through and people came out to donate regardless of, they knew the need. So we did lose some sites in some locations, which was understandable due to people being a little concerned and wanting to keep their places safe and their people safe. So that happened all through March, April, May. It's still going on. So maybe some of the things that they've noticed that have changed are some of the sites that they used to give blood maybe aren't available now. But we've had some places step up. I mean, we've had people donating blood in car dealerships and donating in arenas, different places. But we're still there for them. And Indiana, you came through.
Wow, that's great to hear. The fact that Indiana County has really stepped up in the face of coronavirus, because blood supplies, I would imagine, during this time, even though coronavirus is a respiratory disease, I would imagine blood supplies are still drastically needed.
Absolutely. Blood doesn't have a long shelf life, so we need to make sure that we have a constant incoming amounts of blood for our hospitals, for our patients. There was a bit of a downturn that you weren't seeing the blood used as quickly because hospitals weren't doing the surgeries.
Right, yeah.
But that picked back up. So summer is traditionally a tough time to keep blood on the shelves. Now you put that with the pandemic and the COVID-19 issues, and the need is there. Mm-hmm. So we really need everyone to come on out, sleeves up, hearts open, give us, your donation. Currently, we're testing for the COVID-19 antibodies, which everybody's very interested in.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that. So Red Cross getting into that, and I'm assuming that just happens right along with everything else that goes on right there at the site. Exactly.
Your blood will be collected, the tubes will be taken, and the blood will be tested for the COVID-19 antibodies. And you can get your results in 7 to 10 days by going onto our site or your app and getting your results.
Okay, and that site is redcrossblood.org?
That's it, redcrossblood.org. That's our go-to site for scheduling appointments, finding a blood drive near you. Mm-hmm. If you are listening and want to donate and aren't sure where the next place is, redcrossblood.org. Schedule an appointment, put your zip code in. All the closer drives will pop up. You can schedule right then and there.
All right. Now, you mentioned, as we've been talking about the coronavirus, you said you're testing for coronavirus antibodies. And it sounds like that for people to get the results either on the app or on their website, I would imagine that they would have to have those personalized, like they get some sort of special code maybe that they put in, or how do they get those results?
When they donate, they'll have a paper. Everybody who donates gets a paper after they donate, and it has a number on there, so they can find out that way. If they don't have access to a computer, they can also call there's a number that will be given out when they donate.
Okay, so
because some people don't. Mm-hmm. Some people don't have that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so they can access that, and they can reference the number or whatever it is, the information on their sheet. Then that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. Go ahead.
Oh, it really is. It's just I think that has contributed to people coming out because so many people want to know.
I agree with you on that. So let's talk about some of the things that happen at the blood drive itself. We'll get to a schedule of the blood drives coming up in just a little bit. And I would imagine that there's being extra care, extra cleaning going on at the Red Cross blood drives to make sure that COVID-19 is not being spread.
Absolutely. We are following all the CDC guidelines as well as being a little more strict ourselves. So when you come to a blood drive now, before you even come into the blood donation area, we're going to take your temperature and make sure that you are not running a fever. We're going to ask you, how are you feeling? Have you had any symptoms? We're going to talk to you a little bit about if you've been exposed or have been taking care of someone who has been diagnosed or is symptomatic of the COVID-19. And, if any of these don't work out, we're going to ask that you postpone your blood donation and come later when we're sure that you're feeling well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so temperature check right at the door, like we're seeing with some of the hospital areas now.
Exactly. We want to keep everyone safe. Then after you pass that and you get through, it's the traditional. You come in. We have our own little self-service kiosks where you can scan your blood donor card, your driver's license. Make sure that you get in to the system. After that, we'll have you sit down and wait your turn. We're doing social distancing with that. The seats will be spread out quite far apart. We are asking everyone to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. It's just for everyone's safety. We're just trying to keep it all good.
Yeah, that I understand.
And we have hand sanitizer readily available for everyone to use. We ask that after you log in, you use the hand sanitizer. Sit down, wait your turn. The staff will call you back, and they're being vigilant with cleaning the beds and cleaning the equipment down after every donor. Mm-hmm. And after you donate, we're going to have you go over. You'll have your snack and juice, socially distanced.
Yeah.
And, then you'll be able to head on home.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, we just want everyone to stay well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and go ahead.
No, we still want to encourage everybody that you are safe to donate blood. You have been safe to donate blood since the beginning of this. We've been very, very careful. And, it's essential that we have blood on the hospital shelves. So we're considered essential, and it's safe to donate.
We're talking with Karen Sistek of the American Red Cross this morning on Indiana in the Morning on WCCS. I'm Josh Woodison. And Karen, we've been going over some of the things concerning what measures the Red Cross has been taking concerning blood drives and the COVID-19 outbreak. And it's good to hear that Indiana County has really been able to stay on top of blood donations and keep things rolling along. She said that even though we have experienced a dip, Indiana County really came through in the clutch. And that's pretty, I would say that's maybe a good trait for Indiana County residents, that whenever there's a need, they come out in full force.
Absolutely. And they really did. I mean, we had, and they were patient and understanding because we had so many cancel in March and so many last minute changes and so many last minute rescheduling. So they were constantly getting emails like, hey, we're not going to be here. We're going to be here. And they came, bless their hearts. They came out and they put up with all these changes. And I couldn't be more grateful. And the patients receiving the blood couldn't be more grateful.
That's right.
So it's huge shout out, Indiana.
All right. So, Karen, let's take a look at the schedule down the line. Where are some of the next blood drives going to be held?
We have a lot coming up in July. The next one in Indiana County, I believe it's Brush Valley Fire Department. And a great little location, lots of parking, air conditioning, keeping everybody cool. We will be there July 14th from 1:30 to 6:30, I believe. Still appointments available. Go online, give the Red Cross a call at 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule. For those people that like to donate, I believe Power Reds, we have a lot of people that like to do that. We will have a Power Red machine there for those of you that like to do that. But yeah, we still have appointments for that one. And then I believe we're going to be on the 15th. Yep. We're going to be at Coal Run Fire Department.
Okay.
So good time to go out and support your fire departments as well, because they've been very busy. So go out, and Coal Run also has a brand new building out there that I'm sure they'd be happy to show off.
Right, definitely. And have you noticed that many of the blood drives that have had to cancel early on, that they're trying to reschedule those blood drives later on in the year, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. If they can, if they aren't regulated by another organization that's saying we really don't want to have people in at this point, we are absolutely looking at that. We're always looking for new places that are big enough to have the blood drives. We still aren't sure what's going to happen with our schools. Mm-hmm. So the schools in the fall are huge donation centers for us.
Oh, yeah.
So if the schools aren't going to have them, which is a concern, we're going to need places to step up and let us come on in and do that. So we've done them in businesses, we've done them in organizations. If anybody wants to do a blood drive, they can reach out to us.
Right. And you were saying that those schools were pretty important. It actually brought back to mind blood drives that were being held at Indiana High whenever I was still in school. So it's been a long time tradition. All right. You go ahead.
Oh, it has been. And we just, like I said, that we count on the schools, and if it doesn't work out for the colleges and high schools and universities, we're really going to be hoping that the communities step up for us, which I'm sure they will.
All right. So, Karen, once again, next chances for blood drives coming up this week, you said, at Brush Valley Fire Department. Is that right?
Brush Valley, Coal Run, Fire Department. I believe that's next week. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be next week. Brush Valley's on the 14th, and Coal Run's on the 15th.
All right, so back-to-back days. And again, the number to call if people want to make a reservation, or the website again?
1-800-RED-CROSS. They can call, and they can go to redcrossblood.org to schedule online. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have the app for their phone. They can do that as well. I would, at this point, highly recommend an appointment. It helps us with our social distancing. Mm-hmm. So if they have the ability and know that they can make a certain time, I would absolutely make an appointment.
Yeah, so appointments are preferred at this point. I was going to ask about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, that's fine though. People still make appointments. I mean, for some people it may be easier to plan that way, how to plan out their day at that point.
Exactly.
All right. Karen, thank you very much for joining us here on Indiana in the Morning. We wish you and everybody there at the Red Cross much success with the blood drives that are coming up. And please keep in touch, okay?
Thank you so much, Josh. And thank you for all you do to help promote the blood drives and encourage our donors. We are so thankful and grateful to have such a great hometown in Indiana.
And we're grateful to have a great organization, too, like the American Red Cross, helping out people every day. Thanks again.
Thanks, Josh. See you at the drive.
See you later. Bye-bye. All right, that is Karen Sistek of the American Red Cross joining us this morning, talking about some of those upcoming blood drives. And, of course,